Welcome to Rox Talks, the podcast that helps network marketers grow their business on social media. I'm Roxanne Wilson. And if imbibe to relax, you might want to relax before you listen to this podcast. Y'all, this podcast is going to be amazing. I've got a special guest, Colleen Nichols, with us from No Shame Sales Game. However, this podcast, our conversation, our discussion might just ruffle some feathers, and that is okay. Let me tell you a little about Colleen. Colleen is a former mental health counselor, and she's been in the direct sales industry most recently for over 4 years. She quickly rose to her company's top compensation plan and has continued to grow a global team since 2017. However, after growing, she got frustrated with the negative reputation that direct sales tends to have, and she started a pro network marketing Instagram account called the No Shame Sales Game. In 2020, so last year, and she has grown the account to over 60K followers. Yeah, that's pretty impressive, right? And she founded the Direct Sales Growth Community, which is a membership that gives personal development for women of all walks in the direct sales industry. So you're probably going, Roxanne, you just said she has a membership for network marketers. Why are you talking to this woman? Because to me, it's not about competition. I met someone, y'all. No, but Colleen and I, we agree. And we are probably the anti-message when it comes to network marketing that really is the pro message. And I really believe that first and foremost, it's all about collaboration as opposed to competition. And I also know this, I'm not for everyone. I want my message to get out. I want us as network marketers to become better. And if you can't hear it from me, maybe you can hear it from her, and vice versa. She's not for everyone, and maybe some people for me. So there are enough network marketers that need to hear this message that I am all for getting that message out in any way possible. So you're going to listen to us. And here's the really funny thing. Colleen and I have, and you'll hear how we met and how we've interacted in the past, but we've never had just like a straight up like discussion. And we have it today for you, off the cuff, no plans, but just a discussion on network marketing and how it can be improved. I hope that you'll listen wholeheartedly, and listen, if there's something in there or many things that just tick you off, that's okay. Please don't hesitate to reach out to me. You can totally go at Rox Talks and at No Shame Sales Game for Colleen and let us know. I'm totally open to discussion on all this because that discussion is only going to make us better. So I can't wait for you to listen. Enjoy. Here's my discussion with Colleen Nichols. Colleen, thank you so much for being here.
I'm so excited.
Oh my gosh. I'm thrilled. And maybe like a little bit selfishly because it's like I get to talk to someone who's speaking my language.
Oh my God, we're on the same wavelength. There's not many of us out there, I feel like.
No, there aren't. And you know what's funny? I was telling someone that you're going to be on my podcast, and they're like, "Really? Why are you going to have her on your podcast?" And I was like, "Okay, let's step back for a moment. Let's all calm down." Right? I'm like, "Okay, so
how would you want her?"
Yeah, well, and they said that in the sense of, don't you guys do similar things? Why would you have her on your podcast? And I was like, okay, first of all, I'm not for everyone. So when I talk, some people are not going to hear me.
Right.
But they're going to hear Colleen.
Yeah.
And she's going to resonate with them. And that means more network marketers are going to stop doing ridiculous things. So I'm down with that.
You know, it's so funny. I had somebody say that to me recently about kind of some like same idea. Like, will you guys do the same thing? And I'm like, yeah. Like, why is it all this competition stuff? Like, people who are actually doing the stuff that you want the message to get out, like, those are the people you stick to. Like,
yeah. Well, and I think it speaks to the heart of the person too. Like, are you really doing it to get that message out? Or are you doing it for yourself?
Right. Yes. Oh man, whoever that was.
Hopefully you're listening. No,
hopefully you're listening. I'm here.
I can't even remember how I found you, but I know that it was your Instagram, No Shame Sales Game. Did I say that right?
Yes.
No shame. And I was like, I like these comments. These are great. I like these quotes.
Thanks. Yeah.
I guess a good place to start is for you to kind of tell us how you shed the sins of. No, I'm just kidding. How did you become to be who you are today? How about that?
That's a good one. Yeah, how do I shed the sins of regular direct sales? That's a really good question. So I'm in direct sales. I've been in direct sales for about 4.5 years. I've been successful, but this is actually my third attempt. It's my third go at it. And I was not successful the first 2 times that I tried, and really they lasted for like a flash in the pan. Like I couldn't hang. But I realized this third time, the charm, like if I'm going to do this, like I have to be me. And the first company I tried, the coaching was very much like not me, and very much, I don't want to say this like, I love the Lord, but it was very like it was very Bible focused and like Lord and all this stuff. And that's just not me. So I thought, okay, if I'm going to come in, I'm going to have to be me. And when I was, lo and behold, it worked. So it's just kind of in the past 4 years has been an exercise of like being myself and not following the natural flow of things, and then enter No Shame Sales Game. So
that's
work.
So I'm curious, what made you try the second time?
I think the business model is brilliant. I really do. The first time I was in grad school, and I was at like a party, and the girl made it sound, she's like, oh my God, like it's so fun. Like it was a party model, obviously. She's like, it's so easy. Like it's so great. And I was like, oh man, like, she's like, I make like $500 with one of these parties. And it's like, great. Like I want to do that. And then I signed up and I never heard from her again. And I was like, I couldn't even ask my mom to have a party. I was so embarrassed. And then the second time, it was just, I saw somebody else succeeding and I was like, yes. I was out of grad school this time and I was like, I want to make money from home. And that didn't work. And then I really cooled it on the direct sales for a minute because I got a little bitter.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So the third time, my husband had lost his job. I was at home with a 16-month-old. I was 5 months pregnant, and my master's degree was collecting dust in the attic. And I was like, okay, I'm just going to try. I saw somebody doing a really good job. She was speaking my language, and I reached out to her and said, hey, are you like actually making money? Because like, if you're not, that's cool. We can keep it between us. But like, if you are, I need to know. I went in on it. And then the rest is history.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's, a lot of people have one bad experience and they're like done with network marketing. Yeah.
It's so fun.
And I think it's good to remind people of that because we can make that experience for them good or bad.
Yes. I don't know. It's so fun. But I think people are like that in life in general. Like they have one bad experience. They're like, oh, I went on a date off Tinder and it was awful. So I'm never using an online dating app again. Or, I worked with a personal trainer and it didn't work. So I'm like, oh, you didn't work. But stuff like that. It's just that you generalized everything. That could be my like psychology background, but
and we live in absolutes. You're absolutely right. Absolutely right. Not even I didn't mean to do that, but there you go. Where it is black or white. It worked or it didn't work. And if it didn't work, I'm not doing that again. I don't want to get that experience again. So I love the fact that you did it a second time.
Yeah.
You got bitter, but you're like, you healed and then you came back again.
Healed. Yes. I mean, and the thought process is I don't know if you like are familiar with the Enneagram, but like I like to achieve things. I don't like to do it unless I know I'm going to be good. And that's why it was so hard. But I was like, you know what? People are going to watch no matter what I do. So if they're going to watch, I might as well just give them a show. Why can't they watch me succeed? And that kind of changed the game for me.
That's awesome. Psychology background.
Yes.
Yeah, that helps.
Yes. That helps a lot in direct sales.
A lot.
Oh my God. I used to be a counselor, and when I was like, oh, I can't do this, and then I get in direct sales and I'm like, I'm a counselor still, but it's so fun.
Yeah.
That's great.
So what made you decide to call out the BS in network marketing?
I was just so sick of it. Like, just saying, like, I've been in this for 4 years. I've been really successful. And even still, Like when I tell people what I do, they're like, ew,
Mm-hmm.
that pyramid scheme? Are you going to try to like recruit me? And I'm like, no, I'm not. Like, and it was that. And I was like, this industry has such a bad rap. Like but I love it so much. And I know that a lot of women come in wanting to be successful. And I know the business model is great, but they come in and they are taught kind of maybe the ways that I was taught in my first experience, and they just do it. And they're like, well, this person who's teaching me is successful and she's a millionaire and she knows. So I am going to send these cold messages. I am going to send these things that don't sound like me. And then she doesn't succeed, and then she quits, and then it's the absolute of, oh, well, direct sales is really shady. So I felt like if we could just be normal about it and just call out the BS, maybe start changing things.
Yeah. I have one of my mentors when I was doing home shopping. We used to say, don't just point out the problems, be part of the solution. And that stuck with me. I'm like, crap. I'm really good at pointing out the problems, but okay. Like, and so I'm with you where I thought, okay, I can sit here and say, these are all the things that are wrong with network marketing or with in general and specifically with what I was doing. And I thought, well, or I could help people and help and listen, you and I have an uphill battle. Like I love that we both were like, oh, we're going to do this. We're going to make it after all, like Sheila and all the things. But Lord Jesus in heaven above, we got a lot
of work to do. And that's why person who asked why I would be on your podcast is why you have to bring other people together. So it's not just like this one person on a hill, like direct sales is legit. Like you all need, if there's several, I think there's so much power in numbers.
Yeah.
If there are people like us who aren't just saying this is legit, but helping people explain in their own way that this is legit and helping them show up in a more professional way, I think that's really powerful.
Yeah. And understanding, I'm with you, and understanding like why words like being coachable have been abused and used incorrectly, and why like being yourself is a random novel concept that actually works very well.
Like, why is this like a thing that like, wait, you just are yourself? I'm like, yes. I don't know what happens to most of us when we start direct sales. Like we come in and I don't know if they're like Men in Black, like your memory of like how to be a human, but like, you're like, oh, I'm automatically weird now. And I'm like, you're not a weird person, Samantha. Why are you doing this? So yeah.
You would laugh. We had a training in social stories. I had a guest trainer come in, and she spoke at my summit as well. Her name's DeSola Davis. Has nothing to do with network marketing, except she actually did. She said she dabbled in it and was like, no. But she's all about your customer journey. And she was working with me, or she was working with the group, and she said, Roxanne, I'm going to take your mic off. I'm like, okay. And she's like, so let's go through how, when someone joins you in business, how do network marketers tell them to to build their business? And I'm like, well, we tell you to make a list of 200 of your closest friends. You can see where this goes. She's like, oh yeah, 200. Okay, great. And contact all of them. And if you don't have success immediately, you probably weren't doing that. Like you didn't do it enough. You weren't being coachable. And don't worry. And she's like, and what do you say to these said 200 closest friends? Don't even worry about it. I got a script for you. Like you can change. She's like, do I change it? I just change the first sentence. Put it out there.
Right.
And she's like, okay. And then when they respond back and they're interested, what do you do? Oh, we get them on a phone call with a stranger.
Yes.
And we don't talk. The stranger talks.
The stranger talks. Oh my God. And listen, I've done this. I'm not like bashing anyone. Like I've taught these things because that's what I was taught to do. And I think what's the problem with direct sales is that when something works once, the field latches on.
Oh yeah.
A death grip. And they're like, that three-way call worked. That's always going to be a good idea. Even 10 years later, that's going to be a good idea. Never mind that nobody talks on the phone anymore, but let's get on the phone with a stranger and that friend from high school who I would never actually talk to on the phone. But this is going to work. And like, So yeah, my team, we do different things now, but yeah, that's what it was.
So you can imagine that the whole people were laughing, like, because when you listen to it, it's ridiculous. It's
ridiculous.
It's ridiculous. But the moment, like you said, Men in Black, okay, all right, we'll do this. It works. And I often think, because being the lawyer in me, still she's in there somewhere, is like, okay, but what about, we think about all the things. And so I think something that comes up is, but people do convert that way. People do join. So what would you say to someone who says, but wait a moment, but I did get business that way?
Okay. So I was just posting about this, and it was more along the lines of like cold reach outs, but will people convert? Yes, absolutely they will. That's the nature of the beast. Like it's a numbers, like that's the numbers of it. But you're going to leave a bad taste in the mouths of so many people along the way to get that one conversion that it's just not worth it. So I understand that, like, yes, if you have that Facebook party or you do the 3-way calls, you do the things, yes, people will convert, like absolutely. But you're gonna tarnish some things along the way. It's not worth it.
Yeah, you got to ask yourself, how many people did you turn off?
Yes,
to get that one, and that's
one.
But it's a big mind shift, and I get that. Like, and I said earlier that I know I'm not for everyone, and what we're saying is not for everyone. And so I think that's part of this battle that you and I are going through, is a sense that we're not only trying to change people's perspectives about network marketing, we're changing network marketing within and that culture.
Yeah, the tagline for my direct sales growth community is changing the perception of direct sales from the inside out. Like, because that's where it starts. Like, I mean, we can sit here and tell people all day long how cool we are, but like, if we're still doing the same BS, like we have to, I know that a lot of the work that we're doing is to change people's perception, but we really have to do a lot of work on the inside.
A lot.
A lot.
A lot. Are we there yet? Are we there yet?
I feel like my kids in the back seat. I'm like, we haven't even left the driveway. I'm like, you can still see the house.
Clearly, we're not there yet.
I'm not there.
We're looking. It's snowing, and we're still in this.
Yeah,
we're not there yet. So, what would you say? Like, if someone asked you, what is the biggest? Like, if you could only change one habit of network marketers, what would that be?
Oh man. If I could change one habit, it would be the fake friendships to then switch to like get your product in there. Mm-hmm. So many times I've had people say like people on the outside will say, I had somebody be nice to me just to like pitch their business. And then I said no, and they never talked to me again. And I think that's so crappy. I don't know I'm trying not to swear on here, but like, okay. It's so awful. And I have the speaker, and she was like, I had to really talk to her because she was saying like, I just had a really bad personal experience with somebody in direct sales. Like, she actually really hurt my feelings. And this is a successful woman, like a grown woman, and was like, these women hurt my feelings. Like, they asked me out to dinner, they pretended to be my friend, and like, that's really common. And I think that's part of the coaching technique, is to follow up with somebody on Facebook you haven't seen and say like, oh my god, your family's so beautiful, and like 4 pictures and then DM them. And it's so bad. It's
ghosting is what it is.
Yes the other way around.
Yeah. That's a really good point. I think when we are in it for the numbers and you're like, let's find an outcome, and we're taught to be detached from the outcome, which is good. We should be detached from the outcome, but don't be so detached that you stop being a human being to the person.
Oh, yes. Make that a soundbite. Holy cow. That's exactly it. People stop being human. And I don't know if it's because so much of this is done via the internet. But I'm like, anybody that you're sending a message to, like, if you saw them like tomorrow at the grocery store, would you be embarrassed about what you said? Like, and if the answer, like, if you wouldn't be confident to go up and say, hey, how's it going? And just talk about anything, then you're not on the right track.
Yeah. My standard is always the dating standard. I always say, go back to like, if you were at a bar and someone came up to you and was like, hey, can I have your number? Or can we get married? I want to get married. Like, would that be normal? No, that'd be weird. So stop inviting people to join you in business on social media. That's weird.
Like, I totally respect a woman. Like, I'm always like, I'm not going to sleep with you on the first date. Like, which, cool if that's what you do. But like, just get to know me a little bit. Take me to dinner first. But like, yeah, we can just do so much better. The opportunity is just so good. Like, if you do this right and you do it correctly, you do it correctly and you have like a long-term vision rather than like, I'm going to start this and I'm going to make $1 million by next month. If you have that long-term vision, it really can like change a lot of stuff. But people come in like, you need to recruit, you need to hit this number, you need to hit this, and people get crazy. And I say that because I did that.
And it's so funny. I promise anyone listening to the podcast, Colleen and I did not talk about any of this ahead of time. In fact, what's really funny is I found you on Instagram and I was following you, and then you reached out to me and said, hey, and I was like, oh my gosh, I know who you are. Like, and then I, spoke in your community. Yes. But what I think is interesting, you said like literally one of the things I did want to say, because I was asking you that question. I thought, what would I want to change? And I would want to change the perspective of it all needs to happen quickly. Like, that's long game is the game. And we go in and I feel like people are told from the beginning, if you're coachable, this is a 2 to 4 years and you'll be a millionaire. We both know.
A 2 to 4 year retirement plan.
Yeah. And you'll retire your husband and all these things, which if that's going to happen, if you're going to get to 2 to 4, then you think, oh my gosh, I've got to do X, Y, Z in the next 6 months or the next 2 months.
Yes.
And as a result, people become disposable. Our transactions become disposable. What we say on social media becomes disposable. If we just understand that all things take time, everything in life.
Yes. I mean, in which I totally, like, if anyone's listening to this or people who like joined my team 4 years ago and be like, you did all these awful, like you did all the things that you're saying not to do. Like, yes, it's true. I did do all of those things. But I think where the problem is, that like leaders or whatever, they don't change with,
the times.
Yes. Yes. I'm trying, but some don't. And that's where the problem is. So
I think it takes more chutzpah, and maybe I'm being biased, but to be like you and I, who are like, we did this the wrong way. We're admitting it. And now we're saying, when we know better, we do better. Right. Like Maya Angelou said that. Right. And that's so I'm going to give us like kudos to you for that. But identifying it, because there's so many who refuse to even admit it. Now, I do think the pandemic has changed things where at least the leaders who are like, you get off of social media, don't spend any time on social media, belly to belly, couldn't really do belly to belly.
This is literally my least.
It's just gross.
Thank you. It's a joke on my team because when people say belly to belly, I'm like, ew, I just imagine like two big fat white bellies just like touching, that's never seen the light of day.
Pasty, no sun.
No sun. Yes, belly to belly. Thank God for the pandemic. Right? I'm kidding. But like, yes, they brought us to the internet.
Yeah. But there are still a lot of habits that are, words. What are some words that are some pet peeves of yours that we as network marketers use that we really just should just like throw them out?
Oh God. My mind. I think the phrase that comes to mind is join my team. I really don't like that one.
Tell us why.
It just sounds so, I think it's just stereotypical. Like, I would rather say like, hey, this is what I'm doing. This is how I can help somebody else do the same thing. I know, and I always try to think of things as like a corporate job, even though I know that that's not what we are. Like, and I know if I go to Starbucks, it's like, join the Starbucks team or whatever. But because there's such a negative connotation with recruiting in network marketing, like I just try to steer away from straight out saying like, join my team. Tell me one of yours and then I can.
Oh, one that always like, even like from day one bugged the snot out of me and still does. Is like, this is a gift. You have a gift and you need to give it. It's a gift. The heck is it? What a gift. What? It's just too, okay. Now, do I think that like the business is like a blessing to people? Yeah, but this is a gift, and it would be like, if you don't want to just reach out, but you need to realize you're giving people a gift. This is a gift, and you need to get this in their hands. Really? A little too cheesy for me. I can't
do that one. I can't do it. It's so weird. Opportunity.
That was another yes.
Also bothers me.
Totally.
Like, this is an opportunity of a lifetime. This is a, life-changing opportunity. This is a ground floor opportunity. This is a clean crafted, non-toxic opportunity. Like, guys, I think it's just knowing what everyone already thinks about us, like being aware of like the negative stuff that people say. Like, I don't like to go down the rabbit hole. People are really nasty on the internet, but if everyone is saying like, stop with the opportunity or join my team, like, pay attention.
Yeah. Yeah. Speak like you are a human that has never done network marketing.
Yes.
If it's lingo that I don't understand unless I'm in your company, probably not the lingo you want to use.
I say that too about when people post about promotions. Like, I'm a level 7 unicorn ruby star sparkle.
Diamond Jubilee, yes.
And people are like your network, who's professional people are like in my company it was like level 5. And people would, but it was like the Roman numeral. And so many of my friends were like, I saw that you're level V. And I was like, right.
Are you in Louis Vuitton? What is going on?
My friends are like, blink twice if you're being held against your will. Like, I know.
It's the little things.
It's the little things that make such a big deal.
Yeah. And listen, again, we both love network marketing. We love network marketers.
Obsessed.
But really quite obsessed. But if we're going to make it into the 21st and the 22nd century and all those things and not get shut down by the FTC, that's a novel concept.
People don't even understand. Like, that we could just go. That's a whole nother episode. But yeah,
all of these things, like, it's in order for this industry to keep thriving, we just have to be more responsible. It is really okay to have a business where people are not making $10,000 a month. That is okay.
That's so okay. Like, the majority of people start this to make an extra $300 to $500 a month. That's life-changing for the majority of Americans. Are you kidding? Mm-hmm. So you don't have to want to retire your husband or, have a free car.
Or quit your job. I always thought it was interesting. I will tell you, because I remember when I joined, all these people were quitting their jobs, like, quit my teacher job, quit my lawyer job, quit all this. And then I go a little deeper and I'm like, so are you making the same? Well, no, but it was enough that I could quit. Well, then stop saying that. Stop saying it.
Stop being misleading. And I get it. Because you're in the zone of like, I want people to join me. I want people to see that I'm successful. And when you're on the internet, you have to market yourself. Like, that's what you're doing. But I'm also on my personal page, a big fan of being like, this is really hard. Like, this sucks some days. Like,
you talk about that on your personal page.
Oh yeah.
Good for you.
Yeah. Because it's not like you tell people you're going to quit your job or retire your husband or whatever. And then they come in and like, all they're hearing is no from people. Like, you're like, oh man, I'm not having the same experience as Colleen. I'm never going to be like that. So I don't know.
Yeah. Well, and setting them up, the more you can do to set people's expectations up, the longer they're likely to stay. So I love that. If they see that, hey, it's hard.
Yeah.
If they realize that there's that person who retired their husband, but most people make a few $100s. Mm-hmm. Then they have expectations. You're probably going to get no. I mean, you will get no's. Don't expect that all your family and friends are going to just line up and join you and do this. Like,
oh my gosh. Yes.
That reality is, I think, so would it make it harder to recruit people? Perhaps. However, the people who are recruited are going to stay around longer because they understand what's going on.
I think it's that fine line of being like realistic. Like I'm not on there every day saying like, wow, 87 people said no to me today. Wow, 2 customers, canceled and I cried today. Like, I mean, sometimes, but like, it's like that fine line. So when you're telling people like this is how good it is, they also realize like, well, she does say it's hard. Like she does say it's not always perfect. So they're more likely to believe. Everyone's a skeptic. So if you're like, this is awesome, like there's never a hard day and it's like not really work and it's just like the best journey, people are like, you're an idiot. And I don't believe you.
Yeah.
But if
we all walk hand in hand on the beach. I'm seeing a lot of those lately.
Oh.
I'm like, oh my gosh. Y'all.
Can I also say like we need like some more diversity up in here too, because like
we're gonna have this conversation now too, are we? Yeah. I mean, honestly, Colleen, the fact that you're brunette and have short hair makes you quite diverse.
How sad is this? People are like, if I go to convention, like, oh, there's Colleen. She doesn't have blonde hair. I mean, it's all so white. It's so bad.
It is. And well, listen,
not all, obviously, but like,
no, well, it makes it very hard. And you know what network marketing company I was in. It was like when it comes to diversity, if people don't see people like themselves, they don't think it's for them. So if people don't see, and listen, I blame network marketing companies as much as I blame the field. Like if you are only now in the last few years creating diverse campaigns, well, then you're not trying to recruit customers or field members, distributors, whatever you want to call them, who are diverse. There's that. Yes. But then there's that. Then there's like, you can't, people want to know that they can succeed, just like anyone wants to know they can succeed. I'm going to go on a tangent, so I'm going to calm myself down. But I will say one thing I remember hearing as the lone Black girl. I mean, that's just how it was. Let's call the spade the spade. But I would hear people, and I'd see people join the network marketing company I was part of, and once they got to a certain level, they knew, it was just understood that they needed to change their look, their everything. Their hair would get blonder. The brunettes would become blonder. The lashes would get longer. At that time, it wasn't because it was being enhanced in any way, but fake lashes. Mm-hmm. And they would suddenly like lose all this weight. And I'm like, where did this all come from? Did y'all feel like you have to be that way?
Yes. Yes. I mean, honestly, I've been so glad this last year and this year that our convention is not in person, because it is so effing stressful to go and everyone's who's wearing what, who's thin, who's like, and like, I don't know why we do that to like each other, because nobody likes it. So I don't know.
I went to one convention and then swore not to go again. I'm not kidding. I was like, okay, this is not a happy place.
It's like, but it can be like the energy can be so good. Like, but again, yeah, if I wouldn't want to go, I'd walk around like, it's not, it's a thing. It's a thing.
Well, and it's what's funny, going on all the reward trips and things I'd go on. Those that look, there was like, I was the only one of the only Black girl on one of them. Black woman, excuse me, I'm not a girl. But there was one where there were two of us, and we were mistaken for each other the entire time. I'm not kidding. We laugh about it. Like, oh, I got called you today. Like, I'm not even kidding.
I'm so upset by this.
we had to laugh about it. I mean, like, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
But there are some network marketing companies that are very diverse.
There are some that are doing such a good job.
They are.
It's evolving, but these are things that I'm like, that just all, like I said, we haven't even left the driveway yet. We're not there.
No,
we're not there.
And if anyone's wondering why this is important, you're like, well, I'm enjoying my network marketing company. Why does it matter? Because if you made a list, and listen, and I agree with you, Colleen, let's not give voice to the negativity that's out there. But when people look at the industry and they see certain things, this is one of the things that they see.
I mean, it is. And like when you said like holding hands on the beach, I'm like, every time I'm scrolling my feed and I see somebody else on the beach and somebody holding hands and doing all this stuff, I'm like, I don't know who you are or what company you're with, because like, it's just a bunch of white chicks on the beach. Like, are you a sorority? Are you a network marketing? And so like, when we're talking about things we need to do differently, showing up as yourself. Like, if you routinely hang out on the beach with your friends and hold hands, like, and I've gone to the beach with my friends and taken pictures on the beach because it's fun.
Absolutely.
But it's like that fine line of just like, I'm on vacation with my friends, or like, this is how I'm always going to try to portray myself. I just want people to be themselves.
Yeah, you're landlocked. So where's this beach you guys are going to? I'm just curious.
Yeah, so I'm like, I live in Virginia. I have my last 47 pictures are at the beach. Like, doesn't this make sense?
I do live 15 minutes away from the beach, and I am not doing all the beach pictures, but I could.
You could, and it would make sense.
It would make sense. True.
Yeah. I just want people to be themselves.
It's like, so important.
When I train teams, what?
No, please go ahead. Go ahead.
No, that was very important.
I was just, because you said I want people to be themselves, and I'm with you. Why do you think people default to not being themselves?
Because, gosh, how deep do I want to go into this? Like, as women, I feel like we all are self-conscious in some way. And we see somebody else being successful and we're like, oh, that's what I gotta be. I can't possibly show up as the mom who's doing a podcast interview in like next to bunk beds. I couldn't possibly be the one who tells people that it's hard. I couldn't possibly be the one who does Facebook Lives from my car because there's no other, like, I have to look a certain way if people are going to trust me. And I have found that when you show up as the person who isn't in the bedroom with bunk beds, people are like, oh, well, if she can do that and be successful in the bunk bedroom, then maybe I could do it with, goldfish at my feet or whatever. So we're just not confident enough to be ourselves because we're afraid people are going to judge us, and we think that our mess is unique, and it's not. Our struggles are not unique. Our mess is not unique. And I just wish people would show up messier.
Yeah, I love that you said that. Show up messier. One of my clients, I had a coaching call with her last week, and she was in the car because her kids were training, and we were talking about her goals and what she needed to accomplish to get that done. And she's like, I need to do some Facebook and Instagram Live. I said, great. When are you going to do them? She's like, oh man, I knew you were going to ask me that. I'm like, yep, that's what I do. Wow. And she said, well, it's probably going to have to be in a few days because I got to make sure I look XYZ. And I said, you're in the business of, she's in wellness and whatnot. I said, I'm just curious, has anyone ever said like, it's refreshing to see you not look perfect? And she said, someone did say that to me recently. I said, so what's the harm, since your clientele are actually moms who are trying to figure out how to get some exercise and some wellness into their lives quickly, to just do it where you are? And she's like, you know what? I think when we get off, I'm going to do one. I'm going to do it. And she did, which made me so happy. And she's like, I felt so good. It went well. And she got, people received that so well. And she was, and it just, I think that, so I was on a reality show.
I know.
Yes, that happened. The only reason I bring that up is because I remember when reality shows started, and everyone's like, it's not going to last. It's a fad. And what I realized by doing it and watching it all these years is that people like reality TV because it makes us feel like we're either more normal than the people on TV, or they're just like we are.
Yes. Yeah. I too was on reality TV.
Were you? I didn't know that.
Yes. I was on House Hunters. I don't know.
You did not tell me that.
Yes. You were on like real reality TV.
Well, no, they're both real. They're both real.
You were like episodic. I just had like...
Sometimes that's better. But
yes, people like to... People love the voyeur aspect of like, oh man, like it's cool to watch somebody be like staying at a mansion in Bali and like having the best day ever. But like, I'm telling you, the people who I'm going to end up in their DMs because I am reaching out to them is because they look like me. and they're having the same struggles as I am. And I can say like, solidarity, sister, like, I hear you, I feel you. Those are the ways that you're going to make connections. And when I train teams and I go and talk to people, I'm like, you know this, but like, this is your permission slip to like, literally, please just show up wherever you are in whatever space you're in, because there's so many people who need that.
Yes.
Like, it goes back to like after my first was born, I had terrible postpartum depression, and nobody talks about that at the time. I mean, I feel like we're getting better at that too, but like, nobody did. And I was like, I'm a horrible monster because everyone loves their baby as soon as it comes out and nobody's crying. And then finally, just one person was like, I had horrible postpartum depression. And I was like, you did? And like, changed everything. So it's like, just tell people, and not in a sense of like using it as your diary or your therapist, but like, being human.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's so essential. And it almost goes back to what we were talking about. Everyone looked blonde, for example. If you're someone who's not blonde, and you're like, I don't know if I can do this, there's somebody out there who really does want that product you have to offer. It might even want to do the business, but doesn't think that they can because they don't look like everybody else they're seeing on social media. Yes. They're not frolicking through the woods or the beach. They're not a certain size. Their hair's not a certain length or height or whatever. And they think it's not for me.
Right.
They need to hear it from you. The message needs to be heard from you. So be you, and don't feel like you have to change to look like everybody else once you get into that business.
Yes. I heard Angie Lee say this. She was like, who's missing out because you're afraid to show up? And I was like, that's so true. That's so true. Because everybody, and it comes like when you're talking about the business side of things and talking about the business, it's like, you're not talking about it because you're afraid of being weird or you're afraid whatever somebody's going to think of you. But if this is bringing in an extra paycheck for you each month and it's helping you, like, how rude to not just talk about that in a normal way. Like,
not that it's a gift, but just that in a normal way.
Like, wow, I'm really grateful that when my AC went out, like, I didn't have to dip into savings. Like, that helped,
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, that's and just show up authentically you. It's a huge, powerful thing. I love this so much.
Yes.
Next time we do this, we have to do you drink?
Yes.
Okay. Next,
in the woods. Yes.
Okay. So that Scott says it all the time. He says, does a wild bear? I'm like, are you hungry? He's like, does a wild bear shit in the woods? I'm like, I don't really know because I've never been in the woods with a wild bear.
And I've seen the Charmin commercials, and it looks like not like. But yeah. Yes, I will enjoy an adult beverage. We should do this and have a cocktail.
I think that's a great idea. Yes, that needs to happen.
We should like Instagram Live or something.
There you go. Oh yeah, we should. We should do that. I love that idea. Okay. It's been so good, and I know that we've pissed off some people, and that is okay.
I know, and like I piss off somebody every day of my life, and I don't mean to. And it's coming from like, I always tell people like, I know it feels like tough love, but it's like light on the tough, heavy on the love. Like, I'm only talking about it because I really want everyone to succeed. And I know anyone who's doing like the old school things like I did, or even older people, like not older people, but like people who have been in it longer, like you're doing it because you want people. I don't know anyone who's like malicious and who's like doing things to be bad. Like, this is such a good industry, but we need to be more open to like change and feedback and constructive criticism.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. And it's coming a lot nicer from us than it would be from that person who does not want your message and is going to let you have it.
Yes, they're in my DMs too, though. So people, we have so many episodes that we can talk about. Angry people who like follow you and don't like you, but end up in your DMs to tell you how much they don't like you. It's like,
that just means that you're living rent free in their head. So good on you.
Right?
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. God, we have some episodes. Okay. Well, I appreciate you having me. Oh, do we have another one?
I love how she's like, and I'm closing it down.
I gotta go.
I was going to ask you if there's any other like parting message you want to give that you think we had.
Yeah, how long are you going to have me? Parting message that I want to give. I just want people to just use common sense. Honestly, like if you're in this business, you know that you're here to make money. You know that you're here to change your own life. Be a normal human and like just be a critical thinker. Like if something feels weird to you, don't do it. Like figure out what feels good to you. And side note, there's a difference between like it feels weird because it's uncomfortable and I'm outside of my comfort zone, or it feels weird because this feels gross. Step outside your comfort zone. Don't be gross.
Yeah. Oh, I like that. Step outside your comfort zone. Don't be gross. Simple. Everything I need to learn, I learned in kindergarten from Colleen.
Right? I should make that. I should have that on No Shame Sales Game. Great.
Thank you so much. This has been phenomenal. Where do we find you?
Oh, you can find me at No Shame Sales Game. And if you're in direct sales and are interested in training and personal development, Direct Sales Growth Community is a membership platform that I have for women in direct sales.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much for this. I appreciate it. This is TBD. We'll have to have another one of these conversations.
Yes. With cocktails.
Yes, with cocktails.
Oh, wonderful. Thank you so much.
Thank you. You still there? Are we okay? Are we still friends? You know that when we know better, we do better. And I hope you heard in that Colleen and I have done all the things we're saying not to do. We want you to do better than we did. And we know that truly, and we truly believe independently and collectively that when we do better, it's going to be better for the entire industry and the entire channel. So thank you for listening to that. Again, if you have questions, you've got comments, you want to tell us what you think, totally fine. Please don't hesitate to do that. Just simply go to at Rox Talks and you can message me on Instagram. I'm there, or you can email me Roxanne@roxannewilson.com. All right. So behind the scenes, it is a T- travel time. You're going to hear me talking about my holiday a lot, so forgive me, but I'm going on vacation. So this is the Monday before vacay, and I'm just getting all the P's and Q's and T's and R's all set and done. P.S. And by the way, maybe we'll have a clubhouse this week. If we don't, I'm going to invite Colleen for a Rox Talks podcast live when I come back from vacation so that we can have the discussion. And I think you guys will enjoy that. So thank you so much for being here. Let it marinate. Find one thing from what you heard us here, if not more than one thing, that's going to help you really grow your business and really think about your business as that CEO. Think about it for you and not based on what other people are telling you. It will get you a lot further and it'll give you more happiness in what you're doing. All right, you guys, that's all this week. Can't wait to see you next week for another episode of Rox Talks. You're not ahead. You're not behind. You're exactly where you're supposed to be. Take care.